Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With CurtDog.
Welcome to the show. Let's get this party started.
Yeah, I'm out.
Hopefully, y'all had a great day today.
Yeah, I'm out. Welcome
Be
to Speak. I'm
allegedly
out.
because he
Welcome to
was
Speak. I'm
charged.
out. Welcome to Speak. I'm out. Welcome to Speak. I'm out.
Why those
Welcome to
must be
Speak. I'm
some
out.
good wings.
Who you with, CurtDog?
Welcome to Speak On It, CurtDog. We are live once again. It's Thursday night. Want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house. Um, Hopefully y'all are staying safe. We all know here in Texas the weather is crazy. Um, Ice everywhere. So hopefully if you are have to get out, please be safe and respect the roads. Respect the roads. They will respect you. But you know what time it is. It's Thursday night. My little sister is in the house. Miss Risky Feet herself is here. Um, Waiting for her to get finished playing with her phone first, but hold on. Welcome to the show, Miss Risky. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right.
Checking your stats.
Now sharing pages,
Oh,
trying to
okay.
do my part.
How's your week going?
Uneventful. We're all iced in like everybody else. Um,
Exactly.
had some woman trying to get me to go into the office for one manual check. I was like,
The devil is
girl,
a
you better
lie.
add penalties. Ain't nobody trying to kill themselves for one check. Like we
Tell her
told
the
you earlier, we ain't about that life.
exactly.
So we made, my boss got Treasury to do like a direct deposit type situation. I don't know what they do on their part, but I just know I was in my pajamas all day.
Well, are you going in tomorrow?
No,
No.
no, everybody already planned on being home and working from home the rest of the week.
Welcome to the show. T Cal is in the house. Say, hey y'all, happy Thursday. Hope y'all are safe. I'm safe. I went out this morning, tried to get to work, and it didn't work out too good.
I just looked
Uh,
out my window like the groundhog. I was like, psh,
Once they
nope.
stuck your head out and came back in, be like, no, I'm not doing.
No, I didn't even stick it out. I just like opened the blinds. Like, no, it's it's too white out there. And all you heard was the sleet coming down. And I know a lot of northerners, they're all like, why can't you get out and drive? Like, we can drive on snow and when the weather, like, no, it's not snow, it's ice. Your chains don't work on ice.
Exactly, and it's a
Like,
different type of snow because it was some snowflakes coming down today about the
yeah, we
size of
got,
my
yeah, we
pinky
got,
finger.
um, we got sleet all the way up until what, about 10, and then it converted to snow, which will melt and turn into more ice.
Exactly.
So
So
that's Texas living, y'all. Yeah,
exactly. And in the morning, the roads are gonna be even worse because everything that semi melted or the slush from the road is actually gonna turn into
more
ice
ice.
skating rink.
Yeah.
Um, and looking at the news, shout out to uh, oh, I'll come back to it. But looking at the news and they showing all this traffic, well, they showing the cars on the roads going 70, 80 miles per hour. And I'm like, you have to respect the road because here it is, it's ice out. If you have to hit your brake, it's not going to be good at all. I know last night I didn't come home because I didn't get home till almost 9 o'clock last night. Due to the roads. It rained all day and then temperature started dropping and it was pretty rough. So um, but I tried this morning. I didn't make it out my driveway, so I came back in, cooked breakfast for the wife and I made some homemade chili today, turkey chili. So um, it been cooking all day, so it's a good flavor. I was gonna give me a bowl on the show, but my wife said that's too ghetto. Said don't be eating on the show. I said okay, but I'm at least taking my hot chocolate. So she allowed me to have hot chocolate on the show. So, but other than that, I know it's Thursday History Month, and you said you're gonna start up the history again, and I know you have
Yeah,
a
I'll
good
just
one.
do a little something, just be for this month, because these reports, and I'm trying to do my own writing. It's a lot, so I'm just gonna do it for this month. And
Okay.
if something comes up for the subsequent months, I may do something. I don't know yet, but this will be quick. This one is on Lydia D. Newman. Now, there's not a lot of information on this woman. Especially during that time, there wasn't a lot of record keeping. But what we've gathered, she was born in Ohio around 1885. She was an African American inventor and women's rights activist. Um, and like I said, during the 19th century, there wasn't a lot of information and records of just Black people in general during that time. Um, most, I guess, African American women were not documented very well. She lived in an apartment on the Lower West Side of Manhattan in New York, where she worked as a private hairdresser. In 1898, she received a patent for an improved model of hairbrush. Her hairbrush design included several features for efficiency and hygiene. It had evenly spaced rows of bristles with open slots and guides for debris that guides debris away from the hair um, to recessed compartments. And the back of it could be opened at the touch of a button for cleaning out the compartment. She used her hairbrush design for families she worked for and was well regarded for being an African American woman, being a well regarded African American woman during that period of time. Although this was not the first, she was not the first to invent the hairbrush. It had been around since ancient Egyptians time. Egyptians. Um, she just made significant modifications that altered hair care for the better. And let's see, her version of the hairbrush included synthetic bristles as well as an air chamber in an effort to reduce static and further strengthening of hair. Um, Her synthetic bristles, as opposed to the animal hair, which was commonly common material for the brushes back then, made the brush more durable and easier to clean. Synthetic bristles also lasted longer and was stronger and wouldn't break as easily. Um, it could also withstand water much better. The synthetic made it easier to manipulate and the placement of the bristles as well. So she was able to move them further apart to simplify cleaning. In addition to road bristles, as stated before, it allowed for debris to be removed from the hair, um, and you could easily clean it. Let's see. And then see, she was also recognized for her in 1915. She was one of the organizers of the an African American branch of women's suffrage parties, which was fighting to give women the legal right to vote. Working on behalf of her fellow African American women in New York, she would canvass the neighborhood to raise awareness of the cause and organize suffrage meetings in her voting district. Prominent white suffragists of the Women's Suffragist Party worked with Newman's group, hoping to bring voting rights to all of New York's female residents. Let's see. And like I said, there's not much information on her, but she was a big part of the suffragette movement. And there's so little information that they don't even know when she died.
Yeah.
But she did make a good contribution with the hairbrush, and why my mother brushed my forehead and ears with those hard bristles. I can thank her for that design idea. Like your eyelashes, your forehead, your ears, the back of your neck. Be up there just crying. But yeah, that's my history lesson. I'm just trying to keep it short and sweet.
Now you know you finna get a phone call.
No, she know what she did to me. and
Don't be
we're
lying
not gonna
on me.
and we're not gonna talk about the tooth marks from the hot comb. Talking about it was steam. It's like steam don't leave comb marks on your forehead.
Don't be lying on me. You know I didn't brush your ears and your forehead.
Trying to get all them kitchens and all them kinks out.
Hey, but look at your hair today.
Yeah, it's under all of this. No brush was touching my scalp.
Well, that's good, bringing a history like that. Thank you for all the hard work you do. Um, I know our times have changed quite a bit lately, so, but I'm glad that you find the time to do this history. Um,
I tried, and in between, I got to read this book. I've been reading the same page all day today. I
okay,
just can't focus today.
okay, which book is that?
It is pretty much the screenwriter's Bible
Okay.
because I'm trying to, branch out and learn some new crafts. But clearly, my brain doesn't work that way. I can't learn. Like, I like to be entertained by reading, but, absorbing it to retain something to learn. But we'll figure it out.
It'll come to
It's
you in due
challenging.
time.
I just want to get to like the good parts. I know there's a point to this, like the beginning parts, but I'm not there
Exactly.
yet.
T. Cal said that hairbrush is everything to the black community.
Hmm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Get all them cookabugs. Learning
Yes,
all the
it is.
terminologies. Kitchens, cookabugs, BDBs.
Well, back in the days, now maybe that's me. Back in the days when you had those pillows with the chicken feather in it, or oh, I'm telling my age now, or
Yeah.
the or the blankets with the cotton that'd get off and get in your hair sometime. That's when I back had hair, so it works. Um, Thank God for the hairbrush. I remember when I had a used to be able to get waves. I used to carry that brush all the time, trying to keep those waves in. But many, 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 many moons ago. Um, but thank you for bringing that history. Well, it's been almost a year and we back at it again. This ice storm, this winter storm, um, where if you pay attention to Greg Abbott, you will hear the lies. For the simple fact, last year, when the winter storm hit, he actually said he had no idea that it was going to be outage or rolling blackouts. But a couple of days before it happened, he actually said rolling blackouts good. But then he started to try to CYA, um, well, CHA, um, when he, once it hit and the rolling blackouts did not work. If you listen to him today, in one hand, he'll say, oh, the grid is ready. It won't be no blackouts. They're ready. But then he came back, I believe it was yesterday. He said, it may be some blackouts um, in certain areas. But we know that whenever it's a storm, any type of storm come, there's always a chance of a blackout. But rolling blackouts is a choice.
Right.
Um,
Because I
black,
mean, with any ice storm, the ice is heavy, and the more accumulation it weighs down the wires and causes issues. But when you're trying to conserve power because people are greedy and want to monopolize the power grid, you know, they bite off or bit off more than they could chew. And so now they're
exactly,
scrambling, and we're probably, and this isn't the worst of our storms because usually by the end of the month, that's when we get like our heaviest ice storms. Like last year was the worst with Snowmageddon,
yeah,
and we lost what 260 people due to the frigid temperatures. So yeah, it's crazy, but I understand the rolling blackouts, fine, but they didn't roll last year. They were just out.
blackout.
They were just out for weeks. Well, for a week. I was
It's,
lucky. Mine only went out for 10 minutes. I'm hoping that knock on wood, we don't have a situation again. But yeah, it's horrible. Like, uh, I'm watching a video. They're trying to pull somebody to safety because they slid on ice. Um, there's trucks, 18 wheelers stuck on the road, and this is in South Dallas. So
definitely
it's
be
crazy.
careful if you have to get out. Respect the road. When I say respect the road, you have to respect the road condition. There's nothing that you should be in a rush for with ice on the road, regardless of whatever type of vehicle you are driving. You can still lose control, end up killing yourself or killing someone else. Um, and as
Yeah,
for,
in this car, on the other side, he's gonna spin out.
mm,
You see it
yeah,
at the top, just like that. And it doesn't look like they're going that fast, maybe 20 miles an hour. But yeah, those are like, you know, you can never be too careful on ice, like because it's ice. You can't get traction, and like I said earlier, even if you had, chains on your tire, which we're not accustomed to, you will slide. You can't cut through that ice. You can
well,
try.
I think in Dallas we mainly our first responders normally use cables.
Yeah, they use
Um,
cables, but even still, they can't go over 20 miles an hour.
exactly.
So it's still they still have to be careful.
You have to be
But
careful.
again, there's only so much you can do unless you own ice skates to be able to maneuver through um, this ice. So
Exactly. And then on top of that, you have to give the vehicle in front of you enough following distance. I've seen on the news earlier today where they were saying that uh, on most highways only one lane that is cleared. So only one lane that is cleared to be able to pass by safely. So that's something else you have to think about. You cannot just speed in this condition and expect that, oh, I know how to drive in this condition, so I'll be okay. Well, unfortunately, last night, um, in that same area you just showed the picture in South Dallas, near downtown, a truck driver lost his life. Lost control last night in the rain, and I guess it happened about 9 o'clock last night, and that's when the temperature really started dropping. So I lost his
yeah, like
life,
things
and
weren't even frozen.
yeah,
One of my old bosses was in an accident. A car cut her off, and she stepped on her brake, and the car behind her slammed into her.
exactly. Um,
So she's all right. I was trying to find the picture of her car. Um, sent it to
yeah,
somebody. I
radio
forgot
said
how I sent it to people.
you sent it by
That's why.
text to me.
Oh,
I
did I
want to
send it
say
back
it
to
was
you?
by text.
Okay.
I know I wouldn't be able to show it on my stream for the simple fact that um, I have the no, know what? It
Maybe
had
I
to been
sent it to
by
my sister.
Instagram. Instagram.
Yeah, I had to have been.
Yeah, because I just checked my text message and it wasn't on there.
Yeah,
So
because I was like, it's not there. So this is my old boss's vehicle. She's all right. Um, yeah, she was shaking and sore, but yeah, it didn't take much, and that was before the ice.
yeah, last night even I got off about. I guess I left work about 7:15 or so after I let my vehicle warm up pretty good ways, and um, started coming home. And this is another thing you got to be concerned about. Um, I was coming up to a light, someone, a vehicle sitting at the light, then another vehicle, somebody just did a hit and run on this lady and took off, which is crazy. Um, and the person, when they hit her, they just backed up and jumped the curb and started going down the road and cut their lights off for nobody can see which way they went, which is crazy. But I don't know what the deal was with the person, but that's the type of society that we have to deal with. You hit someone, do the right thing.
I
Exchange
mean, chances are
information,
if they took off, they didn't have insurance.
insurance or want it.
Is this the so sidebar? I just yeah, I'm just flipping through things. Did the Rams change their logo?
Washington,
Is this
I
no?
think
Did
what
the yeah? But I know Washington, but the Rams. Who are they?
Los
Because somebody
L.A.
said the Rams did not fully think their new logo. And so I did a search,
No,
and I was like, well, that's coming up because I was trying to verify it, and I was like, well, it looks like it.
that could have been their old logo. Um, I don't think they would change it right now. Oh no, no. If they changed it, that wouldn't be smart because their logo. Um,
I mean, I know nothing in sports. Well, it just like I guess it was a video, but it looked like it is their logo. I don't think it's
no,
new though,
I'm
but
gonna.
I think we just never paid attention to it.
I'm gonna say
Because
it.
I just saw some on their website, but it flashed real quick.
Hold on. It may. It
So
may
it was from the
be. It may look different on your
2020.
phone.
So
I
I
just
think
sent you
that's
the
what it
one
has
that
to
I
be.
just seen from. I just texted to you because I know it won't show up on my stream.
Oh, it said
Uh,
the NFL fans redesigned the Rams logo to make it much better. That's what it was. Okay.
oh, do
So it was the
you see the
fans.
one I just sent you? Shout
No.
out to Radio Chaos. It's in the house. He said, "Where would crews get caught flying to this year to escape this to escape the ice storm?"
Yeah, you know what's funny? They had memes the other day because it was Groundhog's Day, and they're like, they had Cruz going in the airport with his bag, talking about, let's see where he's going because that's going to determine if we get the ice storms or not.
TK
He's
talking about,
like,
haha,
Ted's in
that's
the
a good
airport.
one.
We get, he'll be in Cancun again.
Yeah, it's no telling by crews. Um, TK said it may be going to Los Cobos. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, but when it comes, please be careful because no matter how much experience you have driving, this a different type of driving. You're dealing with ice. You're dealing with other people that don't have experience in it. As a truck driver, one thing they would always tell us is We have to drive for the people on the road because you driving this 80,000 pound vehicle, you're not gonna stop on a dime. So you have to drive for everybody on the road. You have to pay attention, look ahead while you're driving, just to make sure if something happened ahead of you, you have time to slow down, to stop. Um, but they also tell you, unfortunately, in truck driver school, they don't. They tell you not to try to swerve and miss something. Um,
But people tailgate and don't act right on dry roads. So,
exactly. So, but
like,
now it's
everybody's
even
in such
worse.
a hurry. I don't know. Like, they're just selfish and don't think about other people on the road. They're not very considerate.
Yeah, like last night, like I said, it took me a pretty good while to get home. For the simple fact, it was raining pretty good, and it was a lot of water on the road. So hydroplane, um, you hit certain areas, and you can feel your vehicle kind of swerve a little bit. So you got to be mindful of that. And I just followed behind this. SUV that was in front of me, but I had enough distance between us where I could see if they started to splash up water. Okay, I could ease off my gas and just coast along. So definitely be mindful of that. Um, Also, with Greg Abbott, back to Greg Abbott, because you have to pay attention to him. He's in a fight for his job. You have several people running against Greg Abbott, which coming up March 1st is the primary. Um, Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, Ken Patson, Sid Miller's Board of Education, all of that is on the ballot. And the primaries come up on March the 1st. So hopefully, if you're in Texas, you are registered to vote. If you don't know your status, go to voter registration and pull it up. Make sure you are active and be prepared. I believe early voting start on the 20th. Don't wait until the first to say, "Oh, I'm gonna get out and vote." No, do it early. Do it early because you never know what might happen. So definitely do it early. Radio said people that brake check are the worst. Yes, it is. It is. It's bad that people will still try to brake check in times like this. And I don't know if did you show the picture of that I sent you earlier at on my street. Um,
Uh-huh.
Pull that up. I'm unable to show it on mine because I had this green screen and it won't show up on my phone. But it's terrible out here. Um, and check on your people. Check on your people. Um, that's outside of my house. Um, Look like a big skating rink and an ice rink. So it's um it's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
this was my view. Was when I was like, nope.
I tried to get out there, but um, I said no. Yeah, that's
The last time I tried to venture out in ice, because I was like, I saw this old couple. I was living in Capel, and we had been cooped up for like almost a week. It wasn't a horrible storm, but we did lose power for like a day and a half, but only our side of our unit. Everybody on the other side, they had power.
mm,
So I would see this old couple go out, and it was like they would go out to lunch or dinner every day. And I was like, well, surely the roads aren't that bad. So I was like, well, let me go to my car and go down the street, like literally down the street. And I made it like out of the unit and realized I need to abort mission.
exactly.
And I couldn't bust a U-turn, so I had to go to the end of the unit, go back around, and I slid into my parking spot. And then I
Thought
went
you
up the
was on the
stairs.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Like I wasn't going that fast, but I did do one of those little.
Stand by.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, they're at the end of their life cycle. I just like, yeah, they had nothing to lose at that point. I was like, yeah,
Exactly.
like, I'll just eat my ramen.
If you just tuning in, you are listening to Speak on It, CurtDog, with Miss Riskins in the house. She did history, and also we're talking about the Texas winter storm that is going on right now, and we also talking about um, our governor who's about to lose his job.
I
Um,
mean, we hope.
yeah, we definitely hope, but it's going to take all of us. We all need to show up and vote. I
Because
believe her.
what are our options?
It's rough. It's rough. I'm not gonna even lie to you.
Mm,
It's definitely rough. Um,
I'm Googling it right now.
yeah, because we definitely don't want another Bush in office.
I know it's. I was like, is this another Bush? Like it's like 10,000 of them. They like cockroaches or Kardashians. So it's gonna be like apocalypse is gonna be Bush, Kardashians, and cockroaches.
And actually, I want to say that's Jed Bush's son, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking when he first came to Texas, they mentioned that it was Greg Bush's son because he wanted to run for governor back before, and they said, "No, we're not getting another Bush up in here." So, uh,
So what we got Beto O'Rourke, Brian Smith. Oh no, not Brian Smith. Never mind. Hold on.
TCal said we could have another ice storm. Yes, we could. It's early. It's early in the month.
Uh, yeah,
Uh,
this is early. Usually close to my birthday, that's when it gets crazy. I don't know. I'm like Elsa. Bring on the storms. Let's see. Who are these people? Paul Ballou,
Never heard of them.
Danny. Oh, this dude looks crazy.
Most of them are.
Uh, he looks a little wild. Uh, defending Texas first. Okay. Candy K. Horn,
Candy cane.
a Houston area list K,
Oh,
not King. She's not.
coming to the main stage, we got Candy Cane up in the
Let's
house.
see. Who is she? It says according to the Baroness Candy K. Horn Foundation website, she graduated from Texas Christian University, received her MBA from UT Arlington, aims to improve the world. And that's her platform, but it
Now
doesn't say
she's
how.
what's her name again?
Candy K, Kaye Horn. And we got Dawn Huffine.
Oh no. See, if put it like this, what everybody that is in this governor race, if you pay attention to all of their ads, they all talk about the border.
I know I saw one and it was a Hispanic lady talking about the border
Eva something.
and I was like, what? It threw me
Now,
off. Yeah, I was like,
now,
she's serious. Okay.
now here's the
'Cause
the situation with this. The Republicans have ran Texas for over 20 years. Not one of them done anything about the border. So what they're trying to do is play on your trying to use a scare tactic, talking about the border, illegal immigrants coming over and doing all these things. But here it is, somebody is hiring them illegally. I know Trump got caught. years ago. Hired some at his hotel. Had him working for him illegal.
But they all do. That's the thing. It's like they reap the benefits of, the illegals' labor, um, until they get caught, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know." It's
Exactly.
like, I mean, I worked at a mortgage company, and we always knew, like, whenever we got a some kind of order from the state for garnishment,
Ooh.
most of the time that's how we discover people bought security numbers, because then the people would call and they were like, I don't have a garnishment. And then we were like, well, the social security number that's attached to your name does. And then they quit. And it was
Exactly.
always, and it was mostly California people, but you can tell by the areas, like, yeah, they're gonna quit as soon as we set this up, because and then once we start researching the social security numbers, we realize, oh wait, this doesn't belong to them. Like, it's a fake. It's like for a real person, but it's not for them.
And then
So
on top
yeah,
of
that's
that,
how they get over on it.
I think we cater to a lot of people. Um, and what I mean about that, because even as a CDL driver, one thing about being a CDL licensed driver, um, one of the main rules is you must be able to read and speak English. But then they give the test in a different language. All of our streets are in English. But if they cannot even pass the CDL test, um, how can you allow them to get their license? It's
Well,
like we
like when I
cater to
got my
them.
license back in the day, you would see the immigrants, like, they would have somebody translating for them. And I'm like,
Translate.
well, how do you know they're translating and not just giving them the answers? Like,
Exactly.
either like the signs are in English. Like, if I were to go to France, or Germany, I would need to be able to read
And
these
learn a
signs. I need to know
language.
to yield, stop, something.
Learn a
So,
language.
like, right.
And
Can't just go there and expect them to make provisions for me.
and
you
and
know?
you have to warn me when I pull up that candy cane horn website.
You and your candy cane. Candy
Cause
cane.
I'm thinking I'm about to, oh,
What she look like? Let me see.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Candy
Open with
cane.
caution. Also, radio said, don't know if you heard, but Miss Geiger has filed another appeal to get out of jail. She trying to use him up, and they not gonna let her out.
She, in this picture, you know what? Okay, so hold on. Let me do a screenshot. I'm gonna do something because she looks like this drag queen I know.
Allegedly, we're gonna say allegedly.
Allegedly, it's a spitting image.
Oh,
Hold on. What is his name? Great. All right, you keep talking. I'll find one of his pictures. I'm
um,
on his page.
see if you could do them side by side, if
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
possible.
do. I gotta find a
Um,
good picture of him in drag.
Radio, I'm gonna come back to Miss Geiger. I gotta pull that up, but um, T-Cal said Bush shot at Hoffa, and have you seen his sign on 35? On 35, Hoffa's. I told y'all last year when we went to San Antonio, he actually talked about um, um, talked about a lot of immigration and talked about stealing the votes and all of this, all the way down 35 once you get out of Dallas. Now, he do have some billboards in the Dallas area. But well, I'm like this, how fun. Just because you sell cars does not mean you know politics. I know you did things in Arlington, that's fine, but to run the greatest state in the world, in the country, that's just not what's gonna happen. Um, it's a lot of people in it for all the wrong reason. They trying to get in it to fatten their pockets because um, I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but you starting off the wrong way because you're using that same Trump mentality to try to scare people into getting their votes. Now I'm like this. I'm always open. Any politician that, regardless if you're Republican, independent, Democrat, or whatever, if you want to come on the show, reach out to me. We'll have you on the show, but be prepared to answer these questions because we need to know what are you going to do for us. And if you can't, not planning on doing anything, guess what? We won't support you. Okay. I can,
What the? Okay.
I can see it.
There
uh,
was another picture not so glammed up that I
I'm looking
had.
at one and I'm like, "Ooh, okay."
So
Um,
like if I did this one side by side, you'd be like, wait, which one is she? That's Patty LaPlace, the drag queen.
what?
Yes. And then you want me to do a side by side with that one?
Yeah, because I thought it was her at first. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm telling you, listen. I love Patty LaPlace. All right, so
T
Steve.
Cal said I was telling my husband
There you
about
go.
her in that billboard the other day. Yeah,
Which one's the drag queen?
if you dye that hair the same color,
Exactly. And usually Patty does red hair.
mm,
But I couldn't go through all the pictures in a short amount. Like it's too
that's all
many.
right.
So I
See,
was like, but still, you can see it, right?
see if you could get a red hair. We got a little time. Uh,
All right.
but yeah. So anybody that is running in this election definitely um, um, do what's right. Stop doing the scare tactic. You know, if you feel like that's what's gonna help you win, and I blame Trump for that because that's what Trump did in 2020, and not 2020, um, in the uh, in the election using a scare tactic in 2016 to win the election, and that's what a lot of Republicans are starting to do. They trying to use that scare tactic. Oh, the border this, the border that. Well, look, how many years since the border been there? Uh, for a long time, we've been having this issue, but now all of a sudden it's a big problem. If it's that big a problem, why y'all wait until election time to try to solve this issue? You should have solved it before now. So I'm just saying, be honest with people. Be honest with people, and I would tell everybody uh, to stop listening to them. Start asking them questions. What are you gonna do for the people of Texas? Rolling blackouts is not it. Rolling blackout is not it. Why Texas do not have casinos? That's another
Because,
question.
well, I think because it's a power thing. Who would be the main person that capitalized from it? I mean, just
Who's
like with
getting the money?
marijuana, like who wants to like they can't decide on who's going to capitalize on it because and so they're like, you know what, just leave it alone because it's too much. Like it would be too much chaos. It'd be like Lord of the Flies.
Exactly, and I'm trying to
But
find this.
but
This
they try to regulate the power amongst themselves. But I think it would. I mean, you would think it would just be simple as like just open up a casino. Like do your little thing. Tack that up. But I think there's a lot more behind the scenes, and it's more about power. Who's gonna gain the most from that. And there's too many hats in the pool for them to come to an agreement.
Exactly. And also, I want to talk about Louisiana a little bit, the state of Louisiana.
What's going
Um,
on over there?
well, they have a big Senate race going on over there. That is very important because here it is. We know Gary Chambers Jr., who busted at the school board member that was sitting up shopping during the school board, and he been very outspoken. Well, and I talked about it before, where he actually in his ad for in his campaign for the U.S. Senate, he seen smoking a blunt. Okay, cool. Um, but he's running against I want to say Kennedy, um, uh, John Kennedy for the U.S. Senate seat. Now, if you go to my IG page, speak on it underscore CurtDog, you will see it in my storyline. This brother is 37 years old. He know what's going on in the community and his state. He's very outspoken about it, and we need leaders like this. We need to get rid of some of these old leaders. Um,
Hmm.
need to get rid of these old leaders and put new fresh faces in there because time have changed. We cannot have the same politics as we had in the 60s and 70s and 80s. We could go
But we
even
have to
further
change
back.
like a lot of things. We need to change all the laws to begin with because a lot of those things that we follow in our guidelines are from the 1800s.
And
Like we've progressed since then. A lot of those then like we don't even follow. It's like not even plausible right now. Like
as
we've progressed so long, those laws are outdated by a century.
exactly. So um, he posted a video today, and we're gonna I'm gonna see if I can pull up the audio of it. This is from Gary um, Chambers' IG page. So definitely, if you're in the state of Louisiana, support this brother, and he's doing great things over there, trying to make changes. But we need to get some of these old folks out of office because they still have these uh, old mentality of trying to do things the way they've been doing it. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can play this. And this is
All right,
from
while you try
Gary.
to pull it up, I'll show the picture.
Okay,
They're twins.
okay. I'm speechless. Hold on, let me see if it's gonna play. Hold on. Oh, let me do this. I gotta. All over themselves. John Kennedy's trending on Twitter. Tipped his foot in the Supreme Court conversation. Number one, I want a nominee who knows a law book from a J. Crew catalog. Number two, I want a nominee who's not going to rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to try to advance a woke agenda. Webster's definition of woke: aware of and actively attending to important facts and issues, especially issues of racial and social justice. What he means is he doesn't want a black judge that has a black perspective on the bench, especially not a black woman. And John, that was kind of shopping at the school board meeting, not black jurors like Judge Janice Clark v. Edwards, a case that made sure that black judges are on the bench in Louisiana, or Judge Bernadette Johnson, the Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court. Here's the deal. That's a racist dog whistle because you don't want to vote for a black woman to be on the Supreme Court in Black History Month. Get over it. I'm running against John Kennedy, and we need your support to get him out of the Senate. That shit there? Okay, that's the one when he was talking about confirming the one of the sisters for the Supreme Court. Now this the video I seen today about John Kennedy and his comment about his candidate. So let me see if this one gonna play
This is a
right.
video John Kennedy sent out to a targeted group of audience on social media.
Liberal media snobs are just falling all over themselves to prop up my neo-socialist opponent who likes to get by getting high. Somebody has been smoking the devil's lettuce. The pink-haired wokers who don't know their ass from their elbow are chasing me like a bunch of hounds from hell.
What's been chasing Louisiana like a hound from hell is failure, led by people like you, John Kennedy. We rank number 50 in the nation, and that's what you don't want to talk about. So you send a dog whistle ad to a targeted group of people where you're trying to be low-key racist and diss a whole population of people in this country. I don't know if somebody rejected you with pink hair or something, but you really got a thing against pink hair. You can go to changesforlouisiana.com and make sure that we have all the resources to beat this guy.
There you go. Do you want somebody to lead your state? Sounding like that, first of all, because he sounded like he was with Bull O'Connor from back in the days, and as if he was the ones that was hiding in the robe back in the days. So we need fresh meat all across this world. We need leaders. As time change, we need to change our leaders, regardless of who they are, but they need to stand up and make changes as time change. A lot of these old folks that is in these positions, older people, time have changed, and a lot of them don't want to change. That's why during the last presidential election, you heard about people bring up about President Biden and the laws that he made back in the days, but he also made changes to correct the laws he made back in the days. That's making change. But when you stuck in that type of mindset that you don't need to make any changes, we're gonna continue to have the same type of laws that we've been having for decades, and we need to make those changes. So Gary Chambers Jr., I stand behind you, and I will support you on this show. I've been watching you for at least the last year and a half, 2 years, when you called the woman out at the school board for shopping instead of listening to what the people are saying. She chose to shop at the school board meeting instead of listening to the community. So I stand behind you, and as long as I have this platform, it's always open to you to come and promote yourself. For the simple fact, we need to make a change, not only in Louisiana, not only in Texas, but all across the USA, because we have these old laws that people don't want to change as time starts to change. So as for me, I'm all about change. Go ahead, Miss Rissy.
Go ahead with what?
Oh, I thought you had something else. I was trying to cut it off, but the thing is, I'm just so upset or so disgusted when you hear people talking about, oh, he's smoking the devil lettuce and talking about they coming for him. But what are you doing? Louisiana, even Marcella Smith said last week or earlier this week that Louisiana is one of the poorest states in the U.S. Why? Because we have these so-called leaders in these states. They're more concerned about getting their own pocket facts instead of taking care of their residents. And that's a problem within itself. Excuse me. My throat has started breaking up. T-Cal said, yeah, I know you heard of Eddie Bernice is stepping down. Yes, Eddie Bernice Johnson is stepping down. She's retiring. She done her time. She have done a lot of great things in the state of Texas. She have fought a lot of things. But we also need to have somebody who's going to come in, pick up the baton, and keep running with the same goals she had and making change as time change. That's just like people talk about
John Riley Price, here locally. John Riley Price have done a lot of great things in Texas, in Dallas County, since he been in office. So yes, people are gonna talk about folks that is trying to make changes and trying to do things the right way, but unfortunately, the ones that holler wolf all the time, they're gonna try to discredit what they trying to do because a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Chambers had put out a video. When he put out his campaign video about smoking weed, he talked about the fact that a lot of young people are being arrested for marijuana and all the money that is going to those type of arrests. So yes, Louisiana, I hope you are registered to vote because you need to vote like your life do depend on it. Because with the laws in Louisiana, they're real shady. They not for you, and we need more people in Louisiana and all across this world, all across the U.S. to get up off your butt and get out and vote because these are where our laws are made. Don't complain about what's going on with the laws if you're not letting your voice be heard and trying to make a change. Yeah, you vote. It's not guaranteed it's gonna change right then, but at least you at least took the first step to get out and vote. But a lot of people gonna sit back. Oh, my vote don't count. If your vote don't count, they would not be trying to change the voting laws as they've been doing since the last election, changing voter laws, making it harder for certain people to vote, and then also they would not be closing down polling places in low income areas and hoping you can't get to the polls, and they would not be trying to mess with absentee voting for the simple fact absentee voting been going on for years. And all of a sudden, because of Trump, it's a problem with absentee voting, and they want to change that too. So your vote do count. The only way it don't count if you don't get out and vote. That's the only way it won't count. So you do need to stand up and make a difference in that. And then also we need to stop uh, glorifying a lot of this foolishness we see online. You get into a fight, you prefer to pull a gun before you do anything else. Um, if you lose a fight, fine, you still have your life. You only have one life. One life. Once it's over, it's gone. That's it. Welcome to the show, Gabe out of Houston, Texas, saying what's happening, Kurt. Though, hey, we here Thursday night trying to be safe. I don't know if y'all got snow down in Houston or not, but hopefully y'all are safe down there too. Um, but yeah, I stand behind Gary Chambers Jr. I'm not in Louisiana. But my people in Louisiana, y'all need to step up, stand behind this brother because he's trying to make a change. Another young brother, 37 years old, 37, in a position where he can make a difference. You want to know why you get caught or end up going to jail over a joint? Now your record messed up. You can't get a job because of that. Well, take a stand. Get out and vote. Change the laws. Change the laws. That's what voting all about. You got to get out and vote every election. Not just the presidential election, every election. I don't care if you voting on two pigs fighting. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. That's all. Get out and vote. Gabe said up in College Station right now we got ice. Would definitely be safe. It's definitely uh, rough for everybody. Hopefully we don't lose no electricity. And since you're in College Station, go over there and tell Greg Abbott don't cut the lights off. Uh, so, Miss Risky, did you have anything else today?
I don't.
Oh, okay, let's wrap it
I,
up.
I too busy dealing with crazy people today. Um, so I didn't most of the news was just the weather, and I don't follow anything else.
Yeah.
But the Olympics are what? The Olympics start what tomorrow?
Oh,
I
I don't know.
think they start tomorrow. I first okay, so I don't watch a lot
Hold
of the
hold
Olympics.
hold that thought real quick, real quick. You're listening to Speak on It, CurtDog with Miss Risky. Um, Definitely, like we said in the last segment, and as we say on the show all the time, please get out and vote. Voting does make a difference. I do support Gary Chambers Jr. Running for U.S. Senate in Louisiana. I cannot vote for him, but I can support him by putting his name out there. And also Texas, we need to stand up. This election that is coming up is going to be crazy. This is the governor race. We have several people running for office. Dan Patrick, um, Ken Paxson, Board of Education, Sid Miller. A lot of people is up for re-election. We need to take a stand and send them a message. We tired of the BS that been going on here in Texas and whatever state you are in. Get out and vote. Sorry about that, Miss Risky,
No,
but
no worries.
you were saying that
I like to watch the opening ceremonies. Like I don't necessarily follow like the games, um, because I mostly like the summer ones. Um, but yeah, I usually trail off after I do that. So hopefully I get to I don't forget about it and I get to see it tomorrow.
you want to handle that, or do you want me to handle it?
What, we shouldn't be in China?
No, 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 no. Further down, further down, further down. Um, well, let me explain to people. This show is for everybody. We may not agree with everybody. Everybody have their own opinion. That's our rights. We have our different opinion. But this is my show. I have a choice if I want to broadcast stupidness or stupid comments or comments that people don't agree with. And that's fine. That's my choice. But those are your opinion, Gabe, because the thing is, you have your views. We've talked about the Gabe and I have a love and hate relationship because during the Trump campaign, he would call in with misinformation. Um, he would call in supporting Trump, and that's fine. You can support whoever you want to. But what I tell people, one thing about it, do your homework on these um, people that are running for these office elected officials. Do your homework on them. Find out what is the motive behind it. But then also remove the party part of it. Don't be concerned about if they Republican or Democrat. Look at what are they trying to do for the people. Because the thing is, regardless if you are Republican, Democrat, Independent, it would not matter. Because the thing is, when it's all said and done, whatever laws they make, it will affect all of us. So that's your opinion about the candidates. You saying we're screwed. Regardless of what happened, it's what the people say. If the people get up off their butts and go vote for whoever they want to, the people have spoken regardless of who wins. I know personally, I see the ads at the Republicans, and a lot of them is trying to use a scare tactic to win. Each one of the Republican ads are trying to scare people for their votes. Each one of them. But what people don't realize, Republicans have ran Texas for many years. over 20 years. And they have not done anything about the border. We just started hearing about the border when Trump was in office, when he ran for president in 2016. That's when we heard about the border so much. And in that time, they haven't done anything. Greg Abbott had, 5 years to do something about it? Almost 6 years since Trump ran in 2016, and still did not do anything. Now he's talking about it so much because he's up for re-election. He's paranoid. He's scared, trying to win just like Trump did in 2016. But we have a bigger fish to fry. Because when Trump told him to jump, he asked hi when the pandemic hit. They shut it all down, but when they realized it wasn't affecting so many white people from dying from it, they rushed and opened everything back up. Don't forget, Dan Patrick also said our the elderly would die to open the state back up. Okay, Greg Abbott keep wishy-washing about the grid, saying that, oh, we're not going to have rolling. Well, last year he said we're going to have rolling blackouts. And then as soon as it went bad, I didn't know anything about it. Yes, you did. You did know about it. And people don't look at that. The man keep lying out of both sides of his mouth. It's time for him to go. And each one of these Republicans that had these ads up talking about the border, what else are you going to do for Texas besides the border? It's a lot more that could go on in Texas just besides the border. But the only thing y'all are talking about is the border. What are you going to do for the low income? What are you going to do? So, yeah.
But also, what's a wall gonna do? Like, you still need security. I mean, they got tunnels. If a cartel wants to get through Texas, they can get through Texas. And then also, what about the other threats? They fly. They drive through other states and other countries. Like, come on, a border wall is not gonna help anything.
Not
We
going to
should take
stop
that
anything.
money. We should take that money and put it to good use. Education, homelessness, you know, feeding the less fortunate, something. We can do so much more than building a doggone wall that's not going to stop the threat. Like, what's the threat? Immigration? Like, they come up here, take a spirit flight, and come up in here and stay longer than, they're welcome. So, like, I don't understand what a wall is going to do. What's the
A
point of a
wall's
wall?
not going to do
Guys,
anything.
wasting taxpayer money. That's what it
Don't.
is.
The only thing the wall going to do is show them a different way to get over here. That's all. That's all it's going to
Because
do.
I mean, if there's a weak point or they build us some stairs on the wall and there's no security, we need security. We need to, uh, like more manpower. Like you could use that money to, help get more security, get paid training for, some officers to mind the border wall or the border period. Like that's what we need. Like we don't need a wall.
Hold on. He's going to say, talk about scare tactic. What about Democrats? They run off of COVID in January 6th. You don't think COVID is real? You don't think January 6th happened? Those are facts. Those are facts. COVID is real. Matter of fact,
And you do need scare tactics because people are dying from COVID.
one of our
Like,
listeners texted me last night and told me they have COVID. They're quarantined right now. The doctor told them that if it wasn't from the vaccine, they would be dead. So you cannot tell me COVID is not real.
Maybe it haven't touched close to you and your family. But like I said, it touched mine. Uh, I had the symptoms at the end of December. Never test positive, but my wife did. Luckily, it was mild symptoms. So don't tell me Democrat talking about scare tactic using COVID in January 6th. Those are facts. Look at the numbers. COVID affect everybody differently. It doesn't discriminate against nobody. Yeah, somebody may have it. It may be like a flu-like symptom. Somebody else may have it. It may kill them. Somebody else may have it. They may spend months in the hospital.
And some have it and don't have
Don't
symptoms.
don't even have symptoms. Yeah, I had symptoms, but I never test positive. But I had the symptoms. So the thing is, don't bring up COVID in January 6th because those are facts. Those was terrorists that attacked the Capitol Hill on January 6th last year. Those were terrorists. And they should be handled just like terrorists. Because if anybody else came over here and
Stormed
attacked
the Capitol.
Capitol Hill, they would still be in jail. They would not be able to go on trips. They would not be able to take family vacation. They would have been in jail and stayed in jail. They would not be getting slapped on the wrist talking about their grandmother. Hell, she was a grandmother when she attacked Capitol Hill. So hold them accountable. So don't tell me.
And call a spade a spade. They were terrorists.
Exactly.
Domestic terrorists. That's what they
That's
were.
all it is.
I mean, we have, and we worried about everybody on outside of our, country. We have homegrown ones for all occasions in our own country.
Yeah, he using your tax money to build a wall. He took so many millions to build a wall in Texas, but also he had some donation come up. But at the same time, you got to look at it. Our tax dollars are doing it. When they start going up, you know why? You know why? So yeah, that's all that is. All aboard. I'm sorry. I'm not overlooking you. Happy Black History Month to you as well. I think you just kind of. Oh, he decided to call.
Yep.
Hold on. Let's see how this finna roll.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's going on, Gate?
What's going on, CurtDog? How you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I just see that you're spreading some, I don't want to call it misinformation, but...
No, it's not misinformation. You talking about COVID. Democrats going using scare tactics with COVID, and then also you're talking about they using January 6th. All of those are facts.
Oh, yeah, I know all of them are facts, but...
So how is that a scare tactic?
January... hold on.
No. How is that a scare tactic?
On our democracy. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
How is that a scare tactic? I'm talking about the comment you made. How is that a scare tactic?
Excuse me, can you say that again? I didn't catch that.
No, you said Democrats use COVID and January 6th as a scare tactic compared to how is that a scare tactic?
Over the past few months, what do you think the death rate is of COVID?
What you mean? Because the thing is, that's what we are dealing with, been dealing with for the last 2 years, and been dealing with January 6th for the last year.
Absolutely, I understand. But what do you think the mortality rate is for COVID over the past few months?
Over the last few months, it's going up and down. Depends on what state you in and the variant, because it changes all the time.
Okay, I'll tell you. For mortality rate is, and you can fact check me on this, over the past few months.
Oh, we finna.
Less than 0.2. So I'm gonna.
Okay, number wise. Number wise.
Okay, that's 0.2 per 100, or 2 every 1,000.
Okay, where are you getting this information from?
Just look it up on Google. You can find it on Google. 0.2. You got to look at the past few months though. Average, it's roughly 1%.
Okay, that's what you're saying, but hold on.
This is going to have to start becoming an endemic disease. This is not going away.
No, it's not going away. Eventually, it's just going to be like the flu, but also what's going to happen
I mean,
too.
at some point, we probably already had it, and I think they said that everybody at this point had Omicron, but didn't realize it because everybody had different symptoms or didn't have it. But it is going to be something we're going to have to live with and build
in our society. And Democrats ran on the false pretense, especially in 2020, that they could get rid of this virus.
Okay. Who fault is that the virus spread it like it did?
It's not Trump's fault. It's not
Okay.
Trump's fault.
Okay. Hold on. Who got into office? Who got into office and fired the team that was in place to prevent these type of things?
Are you talking about Fauci?
No,
we're not talking about Fauci. That was Trump that came in and fired the
what was it? His whole
pandemic. The science for the pandemic to prevent those. That's why Ebola did not spread as much as it did, because we had a team in place. But as soon as Trump got in office, he fired that team because he had a hard on for President Obama and wanted to change everything he did.
I understand. But I just want to tell you, if you think that we could have done anything to prevent the spread of this virus, you're wrong.
I think we could.
I think we could have. Yeah, we could have.
Think about it.
Infectious stages.
Yeah,
because think about it. Every presidential.
Hold on. Because the thing is, with that team in place, they could have got ahead of it, and we would not have started.
Every presidential election that we had the Ebola.
Okay. Hold on, Miss Risky. Gabe, you're not going to talk over us, so let Miss Risky say her point. Let Miss Risky say her point.
CurtDog, I can't hear her, okay? So if I'm talking over her, that's not because I'm trying to talk over. I just can't hear.
Hold on. Let me change that. Say something, Miss Risky.
All right, can you hear me, Gabe?
I can hear you a little better.
All right. So think about every presidential term. We had some sort of pandemic. We had Ebola. We had all the flus, swine, bird, avian, all the flus. And I think the conspiracy theory, I think they released these into the world. and I think they have it to where the presidents, they stop it,
Okay, Gabe, you talking over her again. Let her get a point out.
Yeah, let me get to the point. So I think every president, like they get have meetings about how they handle these crises, and how they respond is how they show how they manage the government. And notice we didn't have that, like the Ebola, it made it to Texas, but then we didn't have any issues after that. The flus, the avians, and whatever, it was stopped at the borders and it was contained because they did something about it. Trump got in office, didn't believe COVID existed. He was like, Corona, that's a beer. But it went too far. And so when he could have stopped it, it crossed all the borders and it just mutated and it spread like wildfire. So it could have been contained and probably wouldn't have gotten as far as it did if he had just believed in it and listened to the scientists and the doctors on his team.
Okay, Gabe, I cannot hear both of you. She was still making a point, and then you started talking. I can't hear both of you. No, she was still in
No,
the
I
middle
was
of
just
talking.
saying, yeah, I was just saying that, he didn't listen to the scientists and the doctors who told him about this virus, and it just got out of control. And by the time he got involved with it and he realized that this was actually a thing, it was too late. And so now this is something we just gotta, like you said, we're going to have to deal with for the rest of our lives. It's going to be a cyclical thing that we get like the flu or, hay fever, but we've got to build our immunity to it because now it's too late. But it could have
I
been
agree with that
contained.
last part.
Okay. Now, Gabe, let me ask you.
But so can I just ask a few questions now, CurtDog, if you don't mind?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Miss, sorry, is it risque?
Miss Risky.
Risque. I'm French now. He put an accent and
Okay.
everything.
Well, so I just want to ask. So, do you believe that if the U.S. had, let's just say, closed off all its borders, even though whenever COVID entered the country, no one knew about it? So, do you think that if we closed off all its borders at the
They didn't have to
first
close
time
off
it
all the
possibly could,
borders
it still wouldn't have been a pandemic and it still wouldn't have spread throughout the
because
country?
where
We
was it?
didn't.
Because it took place in China. And what they should have done when they realized, hey, this thing is getting, out of, this is spreading, this is some contagion, they should have stopped it there and then worked their way to, all right,
Right.
where
So
were these
China.
people
Yeah,
and da da da
I
da.
agree with that. China should have stopped it. Yeah.
Okay, but hold
So
on.
it should have stopped there.
Hold on.
Like with the bird flu and what was the other one that came
100%.
from Asia?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, China should have done more. I mean, God knows what they were doing in that lab. I mean, there's obviously nothing set in stone and everything's kind of a rumor, but this thing does seem like it could be engineered. So who knows what China was doing, but I do agree they should have stopped it right then and there in Wuhan.
Okay, but you say closing off all the border if it would have prevented from coming here, but people don't realize this thing is airborne.
Right.
So
Exactly.
closing the borders would not have prevented it.
So what could we have done to
But if you had
stop the
contained it
pandemic
at
from
that
becoming a
source,
pandemic in the United States?
What we could have done had the team in place that could have got ahead of it because once it was,
What could they have done exactly?
well, what they could have done once we heard about it over in China, they could have been working on it and trying to come up
contained
with
it.
to contain it from spreading like it have spread it.
Because at that point,
Okay.
everybody's going, taking flights and going this, there, and the other. They could have just contained it there and be like, all right, let's not let it get too far. Who was here? Where are they going? We need to stop it right there. And then they could have contained it in those areas. But no, instead it was like, oh well, we're not going to acknowledge it right now. We're going to keep quiet and not say anything. And then all of a sudden, oh wait, it's in India, and it's like 5 billion people over there. It's probably more than that, but I don't know. And then it spread there, and then now they're coming over here, and everybody's going over there, and it just got too much because everybody was traveling during that time. But they could have
So
stopped it before
a
it
couple of
even
things to
got
that. I think.
to
I mean,
3 different countries.
oh, sorry. I didn't catch that last part. Can you say that again?
They could have just stopped it before it got too far into the rest of the country. Like, I believe, I mean,
Okay.
like, we don't have any issues with any of the other stuff.
Before the rest of China or the United States?
All of it.
Okay, so you're saying we could have just contained it in Wuhan?
Yeah, it could have been contained before it got out of control and mutated. So now,
Okay,
like,
so
and I
first of
do
all,
believe like they have these
sorry.
diseases on tap. They have these in their laboratories. Like, this was nothing new. This was nothing new. Like, all these ailments and viruses this isn't anything new.
So
Okay.
Gabe, let me.
So basically, COVID was in the United States before we knew that it had come from Wuhan. I just want to put that out there first, okay? And second of all, COVID was all over the country before we knew that it came from Wuhan. So
Well,
how do you stop that?
actually, on that, when we first heard about COVID, uh, if we had the team in place, we could have contained it. Now, by the time we heard about it, people had traveled from
Feeling
those
an
areas.
absolute is never a good thing, CurtDog.
Well, the
Sorry,
thing is, before we heard about it, people had untraveled from those regions of the world and came to the U.S. So
And
of
they should have
course
been quarantined.
they should have stayed where they were until we got it under control, until they was cleared to come back, and people didn't know much about it. So I'm gonna ask you this because we only have a couple of minutes left. Um,
okay.
you had mentioned that. One question I want to ask you: do you know
Yeah, sure.
anyone that have been affected by COVID?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Did they survive?
Both directly and indirectly. I have friends whose I have a couple friends whose grandparents unfortunately did not make it, but people in my family, everyone's all right.
Okay.
My my aunt didn't have my aunt had it. She wasn't great, but other than that, everyone was fine.
Okay.
And
Now,
I also want to put out there that my grandparents they live in France right now, and they're unfortunately locked up with that insane president, and they're so scared to even go out of the country. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you, but I understand at the same time. I think that right now, if anyone's going to catch this virus, then right now is the time, because we can't really hide away forever. I think whether you're a Republican or Democrat, that just doesn't seem feasible to anyone. So lockdown.
Right. Like, I mean, and I agree with that part because we just got to ride it out.
yeah, we got to ride it out, but you also put in a comment high risk old age. The thing is about COVID, it doesn't make a difference what your age is. We've
Right.
seen young people that die from it. Everybody is different. If you have an underlying medical condition, it can take you out a little bit faster.
So, so mostly the people that are affected by this are people with, that are at high risk or immunocompromised. They have underlying medical conditions, like you said. They're the ones that are being affected most by this. But also,
No, no,
But there
no,
were
no, no,
children
no,
and
no,
teenagers.
no.
There
Hold
were
on,
young
hold on,
kids.
that's
Gabe.
a big fact.
Hold on, Gabe. We're gonna keep putting facts out. We're not gonna assume because the thing is, right now, the most people that are being affected the most about it are unvaccinated people, and then it been younger people who had no health condition that have also passed away from it too. So
That's happened, but I can tell you that is very, very rare. That is like a 1 in 1 million.
yeah, but it been people younger than me that have also died from it, or some been older than
100%.
me.
But if you look at the numbers, then most of the people that died, I mean, the mortality rate of a healthy person, even if you're like in your 50s or 60s, is very, very low.
But Gabe, I definitely appreciate your call, but we're on a time schedule. Call back in Tuesday and we can finish this conversation. We can finish it and we could talk more about it. So I appreciate you for calling in. Appreciate you for supporting the show, even though we don't agree all the time. And I did appreciate you calling, checking up on me during the holidays. So I appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
All
Like
right,
I
have a
said,
good one.
this is going to become an endemic virus. We're going to have to live with it, and you can't force people to be vaccinated. That's just not right. That's all I got to say.
All right, appreciate it. Peace.
All right, CurtDog, have a good one.
All right, Miss Friska. That was Gabe, who is currently in where he say that? Uh, golly, I forgot where he said. Originally out of Houston, but he's in College Station right now. But Miss Risky, let the people know where they can find you at.
Well, not in these icy streets, that's for sure. I'm, I'm staying warm with my fireplace, but you can look at my works on rskeebooks.com, at rskee on Twitter, Instagram. I live on Instagram, so you can find me there. Add me, share, like my stuff. Got a new venture, Risky Feet on Instagram and Twitter. I think it's Key Feet. I don't know. You'll find it. And if you want to send me a message or a story you want me to check out, um, email me rskee@yahoo.com. And yes, it's my birthday month, so be generous, spread the wealth. If everybody gives me $1, I can I can drink like a rock star.
Well,
But
that's
yeah.
cool. That's cool, Miss Risky. For myself, you can find me. Uh, be best to DM me. I'm not gonna even lie to you. DM me. Um, if you send me an email, it may take me a while to get back, but I will eventually look at it. Um, Send it high alert, and then I definitely see it when it come across. But other than that, you can follow us on all social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house, and also uh, TikTok. Speak on it, CurtDog. You can follow us on there and send me messages. And go from there. So, other than that, we appreciate everyone for calling in, sending messages. I never did get a chance to go through all the messages, but I appreciate y'all for coming on, and I will be back Tuesday if the good Lord say the same. And we will finish this conversation up about. Gabe said he had opinion about January 6th, so we're gonna kick it off with that on Tuesday. So hopefully you tune in Tuesday and tell a friend, like, share, tell a friend. Other than that, we love each and every one of you. Till then, peace.